Wow, to say it's been a while is an understatement. Not sure when the last post is. I made a bunch of videos, but well, maybe a few, but none got posted. Am I gonna scare the doggy? My street has become like a walkathon. I don't know about you guys. Depends on where you live. As always, I'm gonna romanticize about living somewhere in the middle of nowhere. This place, it's a little nutty, health conscious. With the whole COVID situation, people can't go anywhere. San Diego's on lockdown and people are just walking around like zombies. You know, not that I want them congregating or spreading that thing, because I have to be the one to deal with it when they come to my hospital. And if it's just their lungs, I'm not going to hear about it, but if their brain goes, I'm going to hear about it. And I'll tell you, it happens pretty frequently. I don't know, there's a lot of talk nowadays about how much to trust the media and what's going on with this COVID, whether or not it's being overstated or understated, or what's going on. And I can tell you, from one of the larger hospital systems in San Diego, it's not being overstated. If anything, it's being understated. I mean, just the overall impact. I mean, if you're talking statistics, yeah, you get 100 family members that get the virus. As far as we know, they run under a 2% risk of death. So, I mean, to me, it sounds pretty scary. It's what, 1.7, 1.8? These are people that, you know, we know have it. So, the real absolute risk is probably less than that, but that person is someone you know or love, and they're in their 20s, 30s, 40s, the young person 50s, and they're dead or severely disabled after all this. And it's too late to turn back the clock and take it serious. The damage has been done. A few days ago, guy comes in from another hospital. They sent him in because he needed more advanced cardiac care. The guy has bad gastrointestinal symptoms. Shows up to another hospital, goes into cardiac arrest. I don't know if it was once or twice, whatever happened. Then he starts seizing after that. And they realize that his heart is failing. It's all viral. Now they sent this guy to us for his heart condition, and of course they call me because of the seizure. And he comes in with a negative test. There's two, frequently used tests. There's rapid tests, and there's a test that takes longer to come back. Usually, if you have higher suspicion, you run that test too, because it's a little more sensitive than the rapid test. In other words, you can get a negative rapid PCR test and be falsely calmed when it comes back negative. But so this guy comes in with a negative test, and lo and behold, he's COVID positive after he's probably spread the thing to how many health workers that weren't wearing optimum protection. So now this guy's got COVID. His heart is failing him. He's got artificial pump in there, cardiac arrest, and seizure. You just try to stop the seizure. You can't be sending these people over to the hospital for testing for a multitude of reasons. But in his case, the biggest issue was he was too unstable to go anywhere. By the time you stabilize a guy and get him to a scanner, you find out his brain is mush. Horrific. Absolutely horrific. I could go on all day, but I'll digress. But in case there's any wondering about what's truth and what's not, it's the worst you hear of it is true. I've never heard it overstated. Go to any hospital around here, it's bursting at the seams. You got patients in every corner of the facility, places that really aren't meant to take care of patients, that have to be sort of retrofitted to get the basics done. People are run too thin, staff is run too short, and if someone you love goes in the hospital for a more routine issue or another severe issue, it's not a good time. It's not a good time because it's humans taking care of these patients, and humans get exhausted. Human brains wear out. Volumes pick up. You can only see so many people in a day, thoughtfully. So anyway, just get the vaccine. I got my second shot today, so I'm on the first line over here. Not first line like a pulmonologist or an ED doc, or EMS that are picking these people up. But I see them when they're sick. They're spreading that thing everywhere. So they hit me twice with this Pfizer vaccine. And the first shot, I get a sore arm, kind of like getting a flu shot. The second shot happened today. We'll see. But I promise you, if something funny happens to me, I'll be honest about it. But guess what? I don't think it will. Other than me being safer and not being able to spread it to everybody else when it does pass through my system, or at least being less likely to spread it when it passes through my system. Because hopefully I'll be able to knock it out quicker. My body's primed for it. Just get the vaccine, man. Get rid of this thing. So, why haven't I posted in forever? However long that time span was. Well, the third child arrived. I just don't recommend 3 kids. If you ever get sweetie, if you ever get older and you see this video, nothing against you, but 3's a lot. 3 is a lot. Nowadays, 2 full-time working people. This isn't a Mother Hubbard sitting around taking care of kids all day. We don't have that situation. See, that was the first blow in family before videos, because you just uploading this stuff takes time, But then I couldn't fit the kids in the house. There's no room for them. There's physical room. We would have survived, but there was no picnic in that place. So went through a major home renovation. The garage got ripped off and rebuilt. And the bikes were in storage for, I don't know, about 7 or 8 months in a storage facility. With no plugs. So, I was getting ready to get new batteries. This bad boy's getting a new battery. It's on his 3rd one. They can't tolerate not being plugged in or running for like 2 days. Harley might want to work on that. That's basically the Skinny. Yeah, I still have no garage. I mean, it's there. It's got no door, so I can't put a bike in there. So the bikes are in another place that's difficult to access. Not convenient. So hopefully this door comes pretty soon, because this, once again, the virus, it's messing with the ports. So everything's stuck in transit coming off the boats, including garage doors and building supplies, and I'm sure many, many other things. But I'm still getting out. Chris? Prius? is one good thing that comes out of not riding the bikes very much, especially this one. And the BMW's a lot of fun on its own, but the good thing is that it's that much more of a thrill when you get on it. It just feels good. All this torque. I know they make bigger engines nowadays for Harley. This is the 110, but it's punchy. It's punchy and it's risky. The way it feels, I've said it before, it's so visceral. Lexus, I swear, nothing against you guys who own this Lexus RX-3 something, but I'm sure there's plenty of nice ones out there, but there's just such a high proportion of idiots that drive these cars, like the high-speed lane, sewn up your butt situation we're facing right now. A lot of them don't use blinkers and are like zipping around like they're in a race car. I think it's a good car for the uninformed, and I think that's a recipe for getting a certain percentage of idiots. God, what should I buy? Maybe I should buy the Camry on stilts. It says Lexus on it. Let me just pay an extra 20 grand and call it a day. I'm sorry about that. I mean, I hate to stereotype people based on their car, but man, that Lexus RX 3 something is, oof. That's an offender. Ooh, little bumpy boo. Some rust on this thing. I don't think it was damp. I mean, you're never too far from the ocean, so it's probably a little more of that in the air than some other places. But there's some rust in various places on this bike. Is it 4 years old now? I mean, I never let it sit down wet. If I wash it, I dry it and then ride it, and I ride it, you know, highway speeds plus, to shake the excess off. I'm not saying that's 100%, it's gonna be a little left over, but it's in some areas where it's in the front of the bike. I'll show you maybe in another video. But I'm gonna wind up having to scrape the paint off, wire brush it, clean it out, and then touch up paint it. I'd like to avoid that stuff in the first place. Any of you guys that could rust on the front of the bike anywhere, little bits, let me know if you guys do anything for a preventative. You know, you coat the bike in something, do you just take care of it bit by bit? Tell you what, this GoPro's holding up. I haven't used it in so long. It's been sitting in a box, a dusty box. I spent a half hour tracking it down. Did not know if the battery was going to work. It looks like it's still working. I'm seeing that little red light blinking in front of my face. But well, I don't know if there's audio. I mean, if there is an audio, then this will not be posted, and my disappearance will continue for a little longer. Yeah, this is nice. I took the BMW out last week, and yeah, it's a thrill. I think it's still a rocket ship, but this is it's just nice to chill and have all that torque. This is it's very pleasant. Get a backrest. Legs all stretched out. What a pleasure. Thanks for that. Cars are moving today. Finally. A couple of cars in front of me, they like to step on it a little bit. I like you both. You know, they're not doing 100, but giving that limit a little leniency, if you know what I mean. Ah, no fun. That is quite the pile. Oh yeah, we get a daisy in here somewhere. It's a lot of cars. Not enough. That was a bump. Hang on tight. Shows handlebars are screwed down. Let me just finagle a little bagel here. Give it one of these. Give it a little one of those. Little one of these. This is not a motorcycle neighborhood. It's the kind of neighborhood where people quietly lay down $800,000 to live in a box that looks like their neighbors with no front or backyard. And the whole time they're living here, they say, "Be quiet." This is the land of the broken spirit. Which gives me particular pleasure, rolling through here, making a little bit of noise. Not too much, not getting heavy on the throttle. Look at that man. Interested? Go. Oh. Maybe I should highway it. What do you think? A blast from the past? Before we go home? Pick up kids from daycare? This is where I'm at, by the way. This is my injection of adrenaline before picking up kids from daycare. Well, she may be dirty, but she seems to like it. She's having a grand old time. Alright, I know I'm a little bit heavy on the throttle today. 2 reasons. Number 1, I'm full of angst. Number 2, I haven't ridden this bike in a while, and Well, to be honest with you, it's catching me by surprise a little bit. Come on, don't ruin my day. Don't ruin my day. That's enough.